Have you ever stopped to think just how fast quantum computing is moving? I mean, it feels like sci-fi sometimes, but it's actually starting to touch the real world. Things that could change, well, almost everything. Drug discovery, communication security, you name it. So today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that. We're looking at the cutting edge, the commercial side of quantum computing and networking, and our focus, it's IonQ. They're a key player, and we're digging into their recent Q2 2025 results and, maybe more importantly, their big strategic moves. For this, we've got a couple of key sources. First, IonQ's own financial press release that gives us the official take, the numbers. And second, we're looking at an analysis from Investors Business Daily, IBD. That gives us some broader market context, which is crucial. So our mission today is really to unpack all this. What do the financials really mean? What's behind this bold acquisition strategy? And, what does it signal for the future of quantum tech? It's definitely a company making some big bets.
Okay, let's unpack this, right? Let's kick things off with that financial snapshot, the top line number first.
IonQ recognized revenue of $20.7 million for Q2 2025. And what's interesting there is it wasn't just okay, it was good. Like 15% above the top end of their own guidance.
Yeah, a pretty significant beat on revenue. But this is where the deep dive gets interesting, right? Because while revenue was up, the net loss was substantial, $177.5 million for the quarter, and the adjusted EBITDA loss was $36.5 million.
Right.
And the IBD article definitely picked up on that, called it a bigger than expected second quarter loss. They noted a 70-cent loss per share adjusted compared to just 18 cents a year ago.
That sounds concerning. Or is it just the cost of doing business in quantum?
Well, yeah, that's the key question. It's not necessarily a red flag, not in a field like this that's so capital intensive, so new. It often signals, a deliberate strategy. Spend big now to grab market share, accelerate the R&D, get ahead. The real question for investors and for us looking at this is that investment smart? Is it going to the right places? And will the long-term payoff justify burning through cash like this now?
Okay, so they're spending a lot. But where's the money coming from? Because the balance sheet tells another story, right? About financial strength. They had a solid cash position, $656.8 million at the end of June. But then, and this is kind of the headline number, it jumped, pro-forma, as of July 9th, it was $1.6 billion.
Billion, yeah. And that was thanks to a huge $1.0 billion equity financing.
And they describe that
as the largest equity investment from a single institution in the quantum industry. That's a massive vote of confidence from someone, financially speaking.
Okay, so you get $1 billion. What do you do with it? And that takes us straight into their strategy, doesn't it, this acquisition spree? It suggests a vision that's, well, bigger than just building quantum computers.
Exactly. And the first big piece there is the proposed acquisition of Oxford Ionics. This looks absolutely central to their computing roadmap. It's all about their ion trap on a chip tech. Basically putting the quantum processor, the ions, directly onto silicon chips. Kind of like how normal CPUs are made, but, quantum.
The goals they've set with Oxford Ionics,
yeah,
they're pretty staggering.
Oh, definitely. They're aiming for 800 logical qubits in 2027 and 80,000 logical qubits in 2030.
Logical qubits being the useful error-corrected ones, right?
Yeah.
Not just the raw physical ones.
Precisely. And on the physical side, they're talking 10,000 physical qubits by 2027 and 2 million physical qubits by 2030. And maybe just as important, they're aiming for incredibly high fidelity, 99.999999% logical fidelity by 2027. That 6 nines number means extremely low error rates, which you absolutely need for reliable quantum computation.
Okay, so Oxford Ionics is core to the computers themselves, but then they also acquired LightSync.
Sure.
How does that piece fit? Is it just more computing power or something different?
That's a great question because LightSync really broadens things out. It's less about the core chip and more about connecting everything. It offers a clear path to millions of qubits, not necessarily by building one giant chip, but by using advanced photonic interconnects.
Photonic interconnects, so using light to connect things.
Exactly. Think of it like super fast fiber optic highways for quantum information. Connecting different parts of a computer or even different machines entirely. This is absolutely essential if you want to scale up to really large quantum systems. And crucially, it's also a key technology for building a quantum internet.
Ah, the quantum internet. And that brings us to Capella, right? Another acquisition.
Right. Capella takes them squarely into quantum networking. They facilitate building a space-based QKD network.
QKD, quantum key distribution. For security.
That's it. Using quantum principles for ultra-secure communication. Potentially the ultimate in communication security, as they put it. So if you zoom out, you see Oxford Ionics for the computers, LightSync for connecting them, and Capella for secure networking, potentially space-based. It's a multi-pronged approach. They're building an entire ecosystem, not just the processors.
It's one thing to buy the companies, but you need to execute day-to-day as well. What about their actual commercial progress?
Yeah.
And the tech advancements? Because they seem to be making moves there too, globally and technically.
Yeah, they've been busy. Commercially, they're expanding in APAC, memorandums of understanding with KISTI in South Korea, AEST in Japan, that one focused on AI collaboration, and a strategic collaboration with Emergence Quantum down in Australia. So definitely pushing their global reach.
Any specific industry partnerships?
Yes, they teamed up with Einride, the Swedish freight tech company, using quantum to optimize things like fleet routing, logistics, tricky supply chain problems, real-world optimization stuff.
And closer to home, in the U.S.
They're backing the Texas Quantum Initiative, trying to make Texas a quantum hub, and a really big one, a landmark $22 million deal with EPB, the utility leader. The goal there is to create America's first commercial quantum hub focused on critical energy infrastructure. So very concrete applications.
Okay, that's the commercial side. But here's where it gets really interesting for me. The technical breakthroughs. What have they actually done with their machines recently?
Right, and there are some fascinating examples. First, drug development. They worked with AstraZeneca, AWS, and NVIDIA, and achieved a 20x speedup in a quantum-accelerated drug development application. They called it the largest demonstration of its kind, which is a big claim. Shows the potential.
So DX speedup is significant. What else?
Then they went into fundamental physics. Collaborating with the University of Washington, they did the first known quantum computer simulation of a process tied to the universe's matter-antimatter imbalance, modeling nuclear dynamics on unprecedented yoctosecond timescales.
Yoctosecond. How fast is that?
It's incredibly fast, a septillionth of a second. 10 to the minus 24 seconds. We're talking timescales smaller than it takes light to cross a proton. So really pushing the boundaries of simulation.
Wow. Okay. Anything a bit more immediately practical?
Yes, definitely. They worked with Oak Ridge National Laboratory on a hybrid quantum approach. The goal, to drive power grid efficiencies and meet electricity demand at minimal cost, directly applicable to that EPB deal you'd imagine.
So big acquisitions, technical leaps, require strong leadership, right?
Yeah.
And talent. There were changes there too. The CEO, Niccolo De Masi, he was appointed chairman of the board unanimously. Peter Chapman stepped down.
Right. And De Masi's quote on that was interesting. He said, "I am honored to receive this further vote of confidence as IonQ continues to extend its leadership in quantum computing and quantum networking." He specifically mentioned both.
Yeah, reinforcing that dual focus. But he also said something striking about talent, called it the proverbial Warren Buffett weighing machine most relevant to any company's long-term prospects. Why such a heavy emphasis on talent right now? Is it just that scarce in quantum?
It absolutely is. It's such a specialized cutting-edge field. The pool of deep experts is tiny globally. So getting the right people isn't just filling jobs. It's acquiring the brains that will literally invent the next steps. It's intellectual capital in its purest form.
And they've landed some big names, haven't they?
They really have. Marco Pistoia, who used to head up applied research in quantum computing at JPMorgan Chase, he's now their senior VP of industry relations. Dr. Rick Muller, former director of IRPA, that's the Intelligence Community's Advanced Research Projects Agency. He's VP of Quantum Systems.
Impressive.
And Paul Dacier, a veteran tech lawyer, is chief legal officer. Plus, maybe critically, co-founder Dr. Chris Monroe took on the role of chief scientific advisor, working alongside Dr. Mihir Basara. Looks at a very deliberate strategy. Get top people in research, industry links, government connections, legal, the whole package.
Okay, so strong team, ambitious plans. Let's look ahead financially. What are they projecting? For the full year 2025, they're expecting revenue between $82 million and $100 million. And for the next quarter, Q3, the projection is $25 million to $29 million. And IBD noted that Q3 guidance actually topped analysts' estimates.
Which is usually seen positively, yeah. But zooming out again to the market context, IBD also pointed out the stock reaction wasn't exactly euphoric. IonQ's stock dipped 3% in extended trading after the news, and it was already down about 4% for the year leading into the report.
What about IBD's ratings?
They gave it a composite rating of 64 out of 99, which is okay, not stellar. and an accumulation distribution rating of B, suggesting moderate buying interest from institutions.
Okay. And did IBD offer any reason for this sort of lukewarm market reaction or the volatility?
They did. They mentioned that quantum computing stocks generally have been volatile in 2025 amid controversy involving NVIDIA over how soon commercially viable quantum technology will be available.
Ah, right. That ongoing debate about timelines. When will quantum really deliver commercially useful results?
Exactly. There's this tension between the very ambitious roadmaps like IonQ's and broader market skepticism, or maybe just uncertainty, about how fast it will all happen. It's something the whole industry is grappling with.
So wrapping this up, what does it all mean for you, our listener? We've looked at IonQ, a company clearly pushing hard. Aggressive acquisitions, big talent grabs, driving financial growth, but also really pushing the science forward. But they're doing it all in a market that's, well, still figuring out this whole quantum thing. It's volatile.
Yeah, and you've seen how a company like IonQ isn't just building, complicated machines in a lab. They're trying to build an entire ecosystem, one aimed squarely at solving problems that are just too complex for today's classical computers. They're making huge bets on a quantum future.
So thinking about those bets, especially those really ambitious Qubit targets for 2027 and 2030, and considering that whole industry debate about timelines, here's something to mull over. What specific real-world problem do you think quantum computing will solve first? That will be the undeniable signal. The moment everyone says, okay, quantum is here, it's real, it's mainstream, what's that killer app going to be? I'll leave you with that thought.